Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome and thank you for tuning into our virtual launch party for the 12th annual Hats On for Healthcare event. Things are a little bit different this year, as you'll appreciate. I'm Jim Crichton, Senior News Anchor of CTV Windsor, and I am delighted to be part of today's special program. We normally hold this in the hospital concourse, as you know. Today, a little bit different. You understand the reason for that. Though I typically join the hospital live to read a child's book for our younger participants, I'm glad to have the opportunity to celebrate virtually with you today. And each year we look forward to the start of spring, where I get to put on my favorite hat and help raise important funds for local healthcare. Often it's a Blues Brothers hat. Today I'm on a kind of a Frank Sinatra theme, if you will. For those of you new to Hats On for Healthcare, this is a very special annual event hosted by the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. Though taking part in Hats On is easy. All you have to do is put on a hat, any hat, for example, a fascinator, perhaps a construction helmet, or even a ball cap, as tomorrow is the Tigers' opening day, as we know. Make a donation at the same time to support healthcare in the community. We're thinking of Toonie. It can be more than that, as you see fit. Now, this year, Hats On for Healthcare is supporting an area of healthcare affecting all of us. Support for the hospital's COVID-19 Assistance Fund. Stay with us, please, for today's program. You'll hear exactly how your donations will make a tremendous impact on the health of the community during this pandemic. It's still very much with us, as you know. Now, we have some very special guests and great entertainment coming up. It's not going to be a dry talkathon at all, but it would not be a Hats On party without some special musical performances, and more of those a little later on. First of all, though, please help me in welcoming co-chairs of the event, Harvey and Elaine Snaden, to tell us more about this year's unique campaign.
Thank you, Jim, for hosting the launch of Hats On for Healthcare today and for your ongoing support of the event. We are Harvey and Elaine Snaden, and we're proud to be the chairs of Hats On for Healthcare. Hats On for Healthcare is celebrating its 12th year as a fundraiser supporting Windsor Regional Hospital and healthcare in the Windsor-Essex community. And thanks to our generous community, Hats On for Healthcare has raised over $400,000 in support of various programs and services at Windsor Regional Hospital. And these include the critical care program, the neonatal intensive care unit, pediatric radiology, diagnostic imaging, mental health, and many more. The success the event experiences occurs because of the support and contribution of many companies, large and small. Our educational community, the University of Windsor, St. Clair College, elementary and secondary schools, our financial institutions, our local governments, our service organizations, retail outlets, and individuals who put on a hat and make a donation towards healthcare in our community. As everyone who's participated in the past has discovered, participation is easy and it's fun. It's just put on a hat, any kind of hat, can be simple as a ball cap or as unique and creative as you can imagine, and make a donation to healthcare.
This year, the funds raised through Hats On for Healthcare will support the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation's COVID-19 Assistance Fund. Windsor Regional Hospital continues its leadership role during this global pandemic, and the COVID Assistance Fund was created in March of 2020 to help the hospital respond to the rapidly changing needs. This fund has allowed us to support our frontline heroes through the supply of personal protective equipment and to support our community through the purchase of critically needed medical equipment such as ventilators, patient monitors, and more. Due to the COVID restrictions, this year's Hats On for Healthcare event will look a little different, but still promises to be as much fun as ever. Though we are unable to host in-person gatherings, we have created several new ways in which everyone, companies, organizations, and individuals can participate virtually and fundraise. Today, we are launching Hats On Online. This is a new online platform for organizations, groups, and individuals. Organizations and groups can register as a team, and then individuals can join their organization's team and help fundraise for Hats On by donating and uploading pictures of themselves wearing their most creative headgear. Or individuals can register, post their photos, make donations, and invite their friends to join them in supporting Hats On for Healthcare.
One of the other changes this year is the timeline for the event. In the past, we've identified a specific day as being Hats On for Healthcare Day. This year, the event launches today and continues to April the 28th, providing even more time for you to post your photos and encourage your colleagues and your friends to join you in supporting healthcare, putting on a hat, and making a donation in our community. One of our favorite aspects of this event is seeing everyone's participation in person and seeing the amazing variety of hats. And this year, we look forward to seeing everyone's unique hats virtually on our website. We encourage you, the participants, as you register, to post photos of your hats and then to post photos on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram using the hashtag HatsOnForHealthcare. And when you do that, it's going to automatically populate the photo in our online gallery so everyone can enjoy it. For more information and to register, please visit hatsonforhealthcare.ca. This has been a very challenging year for everyone, and we know that all of us are ready for some fun and the opportunity to bring smiles to the faces of others. So please join us as we put on our hats, make a donation, and support healthcare in our community.
Our co-chairs are always style leaders, aren't they? It's fantastic to see what Elaine and Harvey will be wearing. They're always in their finery. And I know these two have sometimes traveled the world in the course of their travels and come back with a special hat that they wear at this event. Thank you, Harvey and Elaine, for your wonderful volunteerism, but also your commitment to this successful event that thus far has raised over $400,000 for important medical equipment for our local hospital. Just to think, it all started with a simple hat. Like Harvey and Elaine said, this year's event, like all things, will look and feel a bit different, but still promises to be lots of fun. And Elaine, before you go, a little bird told me that I think a special birthday wish is in order. We'll say no more than that, but I believe the tail end of March brings a special date for you. Now, next, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we'll see your donation dollars in action. ICU Medical Director Natalie Mellis will show us a live view of the ICU equipment, donations from Hats On, and how your support will make a difference this year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Dr. Natalie Mellis. I'm the Medical Director of the ICU. I want to thank all the donors for all the donations for Hats On for Healthcare. Your donations have allowed us to purchase some life-saving equipment for our ICUs. I'm going to show them to you, so follow me. So over here we have a Hamilton MRI ventilator. When patients go to MRI machine, because of the magnet, you need a special type of ventilator. And this year we were able to purchase a beautiful new MRI ventilator with the donations that were provided by our wonderful donors. Our ventilator was quite old actually, and so it's very nice to have this brand new piece of equipment. Equipment is called a GlideScope Go. When we need to put people on life support and we need to put a breathing tube in, we need a blade that allows us to visualize their vocal cords to actually put the tube through the vocal cords. And with COVID, we've learned that we really don't want to be in the patient's face. So the best practice is actually to use what we call a GlideScope, which is this piece of equipment. There's different types of GlideScopes. This GlideScope is called a GlideScope Go. And the beauty of that is this is the entire piece of equipment. So the camera is actually right here, and it allows you to visualize the vocal cords directly. And then this is the blade that goes into the patient's mouth. It's good for physician safety or respiratory therapist safety, and good for patients as well. In terms of rapidity, this is very light and quick to grab. So over here we have different pumps. These pumps are used to infuse medications, sometimes life-saving medications, sometimes antibiotics or fluids. These pumps are crucial. We use them every day. Actually, every patient who comes to the ICU requires the use of an IV pump. And it allows to regulate the rate and volume of medication infusions. With some of the donations that you have generously provided, we were able to also purchase brand new monitors similar to these ones that actually help us monitor the patients. And so we monitor blood pressure and heart rate and respiratory rate, oxygen saturation with these monitors. They also allow us, there are smaller consoles that pop off and also allow us to travel with the patient with the ability to monitor them as well.
Dr. Natalie Malice, Doctor, thank you very kindly. We're bringing this special broadcast to you today from Windsor Regional Hospital. It is an amazing place, just one piece of equipment that Dr. Malice showed us. Now, this is equipment, again, to underscore, so vitally important during the COVID-19 pandemic, and your dollars today will help with the Assistance Fund. Next, we want to hear from Dr. Ian Mazzetti. Dr. Mazzetti is Chief of Medicine at Windsor Regional Hospital. He's going to give us a more in-depth look, if you will, at the GlideScope blades and their importance during the COVID pandemic.
So this is a disposable GlideScope blade. The GlideScope is a tool that allows us to access a patient's windpipe in order to put in the breathing tube if they need help with breathing and they need to be placed on the ventilator. So what you can see is this multi-use GlideScope blade. It hooks into the GlideScope machine itself, which basically gives myself, the person doing the intubation, and the whole team a view of the patient's airway. So we have Timmy here. Timmy is our model volunteer, and what the blade allows us to do is it allows the operator, whether it's the ICU doctor or the respiratory therapist or the anesthesiologist in the operating room, to basically get in behind the patient's tongue after they've been sedated and put off to sleep. And if you see here, we see that it gives us a great view of the patient's vocal cords. And then what we do is we use the GlideScope blade, we put in the breathing tube, and the endotracheal tube is basically passed through the vocal cords. We take the stylet out, and then we hook up this breathing tube to the ventilator. The GlideScope blade allows us to see everything every step of the way. It in fact allows us to put in a feeding tube as well into the esophagus behind the patient's windpipe. So really, you could say that each individual blade that you so kindly donated saves a patient's life. So thank you.
Doctor, thank you very kindly. That's Dr. Ian Mazzetti. And as he said, if you will, every blade that donors like you have donated saves a patient's life. By providing our frontline medical professionals with the necessary tools to get the job done, you are making a difference here today and helping to save lives in our community. As promised, we have some very special musical guests as well. I always look forward to the live energy you feel here during Hats On for Healthcare Day at Windsor Regional Hospital. We're doing it virtually this time, and I understand we're live on Facebook and YouTube as well. Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Now, I said we are missing some of the live performances. Not exactly, because for you now we have the Ing Strings, members of the Windsor Symphony Youth Orchestra. The Ing Strings are the youngsters of Dr. David Ing, Emergency Department Lead for the region. Please join me in welcoming the Ing Strings. Please join me in congratulating the Ing Strings, a very nice rendition of Oh Danny Boy. And if you were watching closely, you saw several cameo appearances by the Ing family dog who wandered onto a live set. Thank you, children. That was terrific. And you were blessed with talent. We will look forward to hearing you in future years with the mighty Windsor Symphony Orchestra. That was a very stirring performance, wasn't it? We see the likes of this talent, such a great community, Windsor and Essex. We are serenaded with symphonic sounds throughout the year, and during the pandemic, the Windsor Symphony Orchestra has operated its Music for Health program by providing digital performances for patients at Windsor Regional Hospital. You may not have known that. I did not know that. Also, live performances outside of hospital entrances, just when we need them most, to serenade our hardworking frontline workers. These are the healthcare heroes. Thank you to the Windsor Symphony Orchestra and Maestro Robert Franz for helping us all feel a little more connected through the joy of music this year. Now it's my pleasure to introduce the president of Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation's Board of Directors, Beth Prince, with a very special message for this year's Hats On event.
Thanks, Jim. It's my pleasure to congratulate Elaine and Harvey and the team at Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation on a great job on making Hats On a virtual event this year. I'm looking forward to seeing lots of photos. We all need something fun right now, so put on your hat, whether you are in your office or working from home, and raise some much-needed funds. The cause is compelling. The equipment required for Windsor Regional Hospital to continue to combat the COVID-19 virus is critical. Every dollar counts. Thanks everyone for joining in this year. We can't wait to see your hats.
We love your hat as well, Beth Ann. Thank you. Thank you to Beth Ann Prince for her volunteer commitment with the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation. And I do want to underscore volunteers. This is a volunteer organization. Everybody is giving of their time gratis. You are an engaged community leader in Windsor-Essex. Next, we want to hear from His Worship Mayor Drew Dilkins. The mayor has been an active participant as well in Hats On for Healthcare through the years.
Well, hi, everyone. Windsor Mayor Drew Dilkins here. It has become a sign of spring in Windsor-Essex. Whenever we talk about Hats On for Healthcare, good weather is on the way. And this year, more than ever, we want and we need to support our healthcare system by taking part in this fun and easy fundraiser to support the Windsor Regional Hospital Foundation's COVID-19 Assistance Fund. Now, here in the mayor's office, we look forward to this event to dust off some crazy hats in the back closet and to put them to good use. And use what you have, or be creative at home. Whatever you need to do, find a hat, make a hat, buy a hat. The main thing is to donate and encourage others to follow suit. And we look forward to taking part in this virtual event over the next month. And we encourage everyone in Windsor-Essex to do the same thing. Support Hats On for Healthcare.
Thank you very kindly. His Worship Mayor Drew Dilkins with us today. His consistent support of Hats On for Healthcare and, of course, his daily leadership in Windsor-Essex as we look forward to our new single-site acute care hospital. We've had some great news about that in the past week. Now, closing off today's performance, we're going to be treated with another very special musical performance by Windsor recording artist Jeremy Coulter. Jeremy's going to perform an original song entitled Penelope, and one of my favorites, I'm a hip fan, a cover of the Tragically Hip's My Music at Work. I want to thank you for joining us today. We hope to see you celebrating in person next year. But for now, be sure to find your best hat and snap a photo of yourself to add to our website. Register today at www.hatsonforhealthcare.ca. Here's Jeremy now.
Thank you, Jim. Thanks so much for having me. This is a fantastic cause, and I am absolutely thrilled to be a part of it. I'm going to play a couple of songs. The first one I wrote for my brother and my sister-in-law when my niece was born several months prematurely. It was a really challenging time for the whole family, but especially for them. And I couldn't think of a better song in my catalog that to underscore the importance of the hospital and the folks that work there. I guess early is better than late. When you're ready to be someone not ready to wait. So hang on to my voice, hang on tight, and I'll talk you into the rest of your life, Penelope. And this is all I ask as you close your eyes and sleep. They're doing all they can to see your little heartbeat. Penelope, don't forget to breathe. It's hard to see the day from the night. A fresh pair of eyes can see only light, so believe every voice that you hear, and fight until the day makes the night disappear. Penelope, and this is all I ask as you close your eyes and sleep. They're doing all they can to see your little heartbeat. Penelope, don't forget to breathe. With the timing of your own tiny little girl, you will find a home in a giant world. I've got a place in mind, a switch inside your heart stuck in overdrive. You will face the odds just to stay alive. I'll be here by your side when they tell me you don't see me. Well, I know you're here. Every voice surrounding you, dear. Penelope, this is all I ask as you close your eyes and sleep. They're doing all they can to see your little heartbeat. Penelope, don't forget to breathe. Thank you. Thank you again to the organizers for doing this. This is fantastic. I know you do it every year, and I know this year's a little bit different, but I'm so thrilled to be a part of it, and I can't wait to see how much money gets raised. It's really exciting. Everything is bleak, it's the middle of the night. You're all alone and the dummies might be right. You feel like a jerk, my music at work, my music at work. Avoid trends and cliches, don't try to be up to date. And when the sunlight hits the olive oil, don't hesitate. The night's so long it hurts, my music at work. Symbol too far, the anatomy of a stain. Determine where you are in a sink full of Ganges. I remain, no matter what you've heard. My music at work, my music at work, my music at work. I call it Olga Waits, a cloud that entertains the impossibility of showing some restraint. The rain came down berserk, my music at work, my music at work. On a star beyond the chart, the dark side of the rain, the determining where you are in a sink full of Ganges I remain. No matter what you've heard, my music got work, my music got work, my music got work. La da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da, la da 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 da. Everything is bleak, it's the middle of the night. You're all alone and the dummies might be right. Outside the darkness lurks, my music got work, my music got work. Hey, fallen hummingbird, my music got work. Got to bed without dessert, my music got work. From the middle of the earth, my music got work, my music got work. Thank you so much.
Jeremy Coulter's Music Room. Thank you, Jeremy. We got to see the inner sanctum there. You've got some great musical instruments there. That was profoundly moving with your original composition, Penelope, and of course, the beloved Tragically Hips. My music at work. I know Gord would be proud. I want to thank you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, for joining us today for the annual launch of Hats On for Healthcare. I want to thank our speakers, but most of all, I want to thank you for joining us for the quickest half hour in television. I'm Jim Crichton from CTV signing off. Please give as generously as you can. We'll talk to you soon in support of Hats On for Healthcare.